Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So, I was trying to build this video showing you some connections to Michael Jackson's, what's known as, he refers to his favorite song as Smile. Going back to that it's a Charlie Chaplin song. And I actually went and looked it up and stuff, and because I was wondering, it's like, I don't remember Charlie Chaplin ever being a singer, and he's most well known for his films are silent films, right? So I did actually look it up, and what it appears to be is that Charlie Chaplin wrote this song Smile, but it's just the music. It's not the actual lyrics. The lyrics were added later, and the first person to release the song was Nat King Cole, I believe in 1954 is what it said. And then other people has released the song and done the song. But Michael Jackson always, refers to it as Charlie Chaplin song, and that's how people refer to it, as Charlie Chaplin song, because it's the music, it's Smile. It's weird because when you hear the music originally, and then you're just so used to hearing the words with it, and it's one of those things that when you hear the original music, you hear the words, and it's like, boy, these words go perfectly with that song. It's like, well, he didn't, but Charlie Chaplin, see, things are confusing when you actually do research on things, and when you try and figure out how things actually developed, because when you hear the music for the song back, it's like 1936, something no, it'd be before that probably too. I don't know. So it was somewhere way back then, I'm thinking 36 because it's like, well, they were making talking films in 36, I know they were making talking films before that. But it's around that era that they started to break, because it was like the late 20s, I believe. Then they started making the talking films, I think in the early 30s, somewhere like that, that's what I'm saying. It's tricky when you go back and look at history and all this stuff. There's a lot of stuff there, it's real interesting, the history and the old movies, and but when you have to study it to know for sure, like if you're writing a book, it has to be accurate, right? You need to be really accurate. So that's one of the things about when I'm doing my investigation. Part of the things that I'm showing you is like, okay, well, I'm not writing a book, so what happens is, like, when I'm speaking, I'm just speaking out of things in my mind, It's like, okay, I have a generalization idea of what this occurred and stuff. So I'll give you information, but some things I'm just getting close on, and I'm giving you certain facts, and it's like, well, I haven't put all the facts together because I'm not writing it for a book. And it's part of what I'm going to show you in this video is that there was just so much information when I was when I started looking into this video. It's like, geez, there's just so much stuff there, and it's one of the things that I try and show people. It's like, it's hard for me to make these videos because when I do this, I find so much, and this is one of the real things that I just am like, man, you Michael Jackson fans, this is this thing that really gets me mad to my Michael Jackson fans. It's like, boy, you guys don't see things the way I see it, and because you don't see things the way I'm seeing it, it's like, I know that you guys are missing out on this massive story that's got intricate details like all over the place, and it's like, you people, you're not seeing it. And you guys claim to be Michael Jackson fans. If you're a fan, then like the story that I'm bringing, it's like you couldn't not look into it because it's so interesting, and it opens up all these other doors, and it shows you Michael Jackson in a whole nother light, in a whole nother way that you've never even known about, right? And so that's what I'm saying. I've been a fan of things, and when somebody brings something new, it's like I have to investigate. I have to watch it. There's times in my life where I've been like that I've been a true fan to people and stuff like that, and it's like I just craved anything new, So when I get around these Michael Jackson, all these big Michael Jackson, he's got so many fans, right? And you got these YouTubers with these big pages all dedicated to Michael Jackson. Yeah. But for some reason, they can't even look at the stuff that I'm doing. Okay. So, that's the thing too. It's like, one of the reasons too is like making the videos is like people just do not appreciate how busy I am. Taking care of my dad and stuff. It's like, I'm busy. I'm so busy, and even when I'm trying to make my videos, I'm still like right now I'm working, right? I'm taking care of, like, while I'm making this video, I'm actually taking care of my dad too at the same time. I'm not, so people just don't, they can't even have the slightest bit of respect to understand how difficult it is for me to do any of this stuff that I'm doing. It's incredibly difficult, and that's why I have a problem building these videos properly and putting time and effort towards it, because I'm busy. So like I said, this video starts with the idea of what I wanted to show you, because I know that Diana Ross had, well, I knew that she had sung the song Smile, but then I actually looked it up, so I have to go back and actually check, and it turns out that she actually recorded it and released it on an album. It was in 1976, I believe. She released it on... see, like when you go to the there's so many details. Now, I believe it's her second album that she released as a solo artist when she actually left the Supremes, and it was her second album that she released, and I believe it was 1976, and she recorded the song Smile, and it's on her album. Okay, and it's like it's like a whole nother thing when I'm saying that stuff. It's like, man, there's so many songs that Michael Jackson and Diana Ross sang the same songs. There's a lot of them and stuff. And see, a song like this, the song Smile, this is not a Motown song. And it's one of the things about it's like Michael and Diana would sing similar songs, and it's not just because they were at Motown together and they sang a lot of the same Motown songs. It's like, no, this other stuff would occur too, where like the song Smile, you know, like a song like that comes into play. There's more. There's there's a lot. There's so much stuff there, and it's like it's hard to even go into this stuff. But so I was looking for, and like I said, I was looking for the stuff, and I find this other stuff, and it leads me to this other stuff, and it's just like, jeez, it's crazy. And that's why it's just like, oh man, you Michael Jackson fans don't even understand. It's like when I get into this stuff and I start looking at it, the stuff that I see, it's like, you guys don't see any of this stuff. And it saddens me. It's these things that it's like, I have to live with this. It's like, why am I the only one? Why am I the one that's seeing all this stuff? And it's like, it's a weird place to be in this world. And it's one of these things that I feel that I have this unique connection to Michael Jackson, because I know since I'm doing the story in the way that I'm having to relate it, like telling people this is what it is, and they won't see it. And it's like, well, that's what Michael Jackson had to be with his whole life. He could write a song like Dirty Diana telling you, and then link it into to Diana Ross, you know, calling the Dirty Diana, you know, all the things of what they did together with their relationship. Like everybody was saying, Michael's trying to look like Diana. It's like he was clearly doing something to try and let people know that they looked alike, and they're showing your relationship, but then he's got to hide it, and it's oh my god, like all of the stuff. And so like Michael Jackson having to live the life that he led, where he's actually the love child of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson, but he's like, they're telling the public, but then they're not telling the public, and then it comes to the point where it's like, it doesn't even matter, because that's one of the things about like where he'd push it with the songs like Billie Jean and then the Dirty Diana, and and then the look, the image where everybody's saying you're trying to look like Diana Ross. It's like one of those things too where Michael, he could tell people, like he could have came out and told people, oh well, Diana Ross is my mother, and then everybody just would have said, oh yeah, good one, that's a joke, that's funny, yeah right. They wouldn't have believed him. If he told them, they wouldn't have believed him. It's like, that's where I bet that's where I bet in his life he actually wondered. He's like, what if I just tell them? And it's like, they won't believe it anyway. So it's like, I bet he wanted to tell people, because he's like, they won't believe it. I'm a Jackson. They all know me as a Jackson. They won't believe it and stuff. And as long as Catherine and Joe comes out and says, no, that's our kid, he's just joking, don't believe what he's saying, then nobody would have believed him. And I bet like that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of reality that Michael Jackson had to live with in his life. And it's like, I'm having to live that reality now, where it's like, I'm telling you this is what's going on, and they just don't believe me. And not only do they not believe me, they just turn their heads and walk away. They don't want to hear anymore. Once I start getting into it, I'm like, okay, well, what about this? No, stop saying that. And they turn their head and they literally just walk away. And I'm like, damn, I couldn't be that way as a fan. And if somebody's giving me information that's like quality information, how could I refuse to listen to it and just turn my head and walk away? That's what I'm saying. I start doing this, and it's like, I could just keep going on before I even get into the video, just start showing you. I keep going on and stuff. There's just so much here. So, okay, so I'm looking at stuff, and then so I wanted to see Diana Ross singing Smile. You know, it's like, and then this one came up with the live version, you know, and it's an older version too, so it's like, okay, this is a good one. So I clicked on this one, as then I'm getting through it, there's this mime here, and it's like, okay, well, Michael's got the thing with the mimes too, and he talks about the Marcel Macron, I think his name is. I'll pull that up later because I want you to show. I want to show that too. But so now it's like, here's another connection. Okay, so here's Diana Ross singing Smile, and then there's a mime with her on stage. This shit is weird. The stuff of like what's going on, and that's what I'm saying, the stuff with Michael Jackson, the stuff when he talks about like Smile, and he talks about the mimes. He loves that frickin' Marcel Macron, the mime guy. Okay, Jim, hold on. You know, so he talks about all that stuff, you know? But then what happens is you go back and you see these connections, and it's like there's all kinds of stuff that was going on with Diana Ross to show you that Michael Jackson's influences are dramatically from Diana Ross. There's just so much that it's above and beyond him just having a fondness for her. And the real reason is like, when you see the real trueness is that he was longing for her. Like, he loved her so much, being that she was his mother. Like, the way he idolized her once he found it. Because you got to understand, Michael would have known who Diana Ross was before he found out that she was his mother. Diana Ross is a big star as in the Supremes. And that's like the line of the Billie Jean. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene because she's starting to make movies that time. But she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene because Michael Jackson knows who Diana Ross is. She's a singer. But that's why Billie Jean, she's more like a beauty queen from a movie scene when she tells him. Because that's the story of Billie Jean, is that's when Diana Ross actually is informing Michael Jackson that she's his mother. And that's why the first line of the song, Billie Jean, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. It's because Diana Ross is a singer, and he knows her as a singer, but when she comes and she's telling him, the way he sees it in his head is like, well, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene, because he's telling you that who she is in real life is something else, and he knows her as something else is Diana Ross from the Supremes. You know, that's what I'm saying. The connection, I could just go on and stuff with this, and it's just like, I feel so sad that the Michael Jackson fans don't get to experience this, and they're not experiencing. Not only are they don't want to. They don't want to know the truth. And it's like, why? Are you guys so unwilling to have to carry the burden of like what I'm having to carry? And I'll tell you, it's like, this is Michael Jackson's real life. This is the stuff and the realities of what he had to deal with his whole life. And you guys are so pathetic, and you have the nerve to call yourself Michael Jackson fans, and you have no interest in understanding what Michael Jackson's burdens that he actually really had to carry in his life. That's why I say they're fake fans. These are disgusting. These people that are out here using Michael Jackson's legend and his image and all of his talent and everything to build for themselves like YouTube pages, like directly Michael Traps in, you know, MJ Fangirl, the Thon Lexi, the page, the Detail, like, and then there's like the ultra disgusting people like Pearl Jr. Oh my God. You know, like all those people just totally stealing from Michael Jackson, and they actually have no interest in understanding who the man actually really was. And it's like, God, these people disgust me. Let me get into this video. It's like, sheesh, okay. So let me just show you a little part here.
Isn't it rich? Aren't we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair.
Okay, I had to stop on that part too, because it was like, it's so dramatic when the mime, when she says, me at last here on the ground and you in midair, and he grabs his neck and like pulls it like he's hanging, like he's, you know, like he's being hung. And it's like, oh my God, the power, that is like, jeez. And so, and you in midair, and he pulls it like he's hanging from a rope, like he's being hung. And that's why he's like hanging in midair, like he had just been hung. Okay. And like, okay, so Diana Ross, that first movie that she did, Lady Sings the Blues, that's about Billie Holiday. And Billie Holiday's like one of her, basically her most famous song probably is a song called Strange Fruit. Okay? And there's like, there's strange, in the South, I'm trying to think of the words, you know, but there's strange fruit hanging from the trees in the South. And what strange fruit is is people, the black people that were being hung in the trees. Okay, so when she's saying strange fruit, there's strange fruit like hanging from the trees in the South. What the strange fruit are the black people that were being lynched and they're hung. Okay, so that what strange fruit is a black man who's been lynched. Okay, that's what the understanding. If the people that don't know the meaning of what that song, and like, if that's one of these things, it's like people that's like, if you're not historians and you don't appreciate the meaning of these songs and the artistry of what's going on and how these people form these songs and stuff, and it's just like, so that's why this part right there, it's like, you know, to me it's like, oh my God. Did you, the mime like hung himself when she said in you in midair, and he like pulled a rope up like he was hanging, and it's like, oh, do you know that's the strange fruit that Diana Ross, you know, portrayed Billie Holiday in that first movie, The Lady Sings the Blues, and it's like, well, that's Billie Holiday's song Strange Fruit, and like that the strange fruit is the black man being hung in the South, hanging from trees. She called it strange fruit. It's like, jeez. That's what I'm saying, the powerful of like what art is. And it's like Michael Jackson was a real artist, you know, and he got to experience like people do all this stuff. And it's one of these things with these people, and when like they want to talk about Michael Jackson and they say, oh, what's your favorite? They make it all about themselves. They don't talk about Michael Jackson. That's why it gets me so mad. Whenever you see all these Michael Jackson interviews, right? They make it about themselves. Oh, what's your favorite song? Oh, what's your favorite album? What's your favorite outfit that he wore? They make it all about themselves. They're not talking about Michael Jackson, the artist. They don't care. It's all about them as a fan. It's all about me. I'm a fan. You know, pay attention to me. What's my favorite song? What's my favorite album? What's my favorite this? But when did I learn who Michael Jackson is, you know? It's disgusting. And these are like the fans, and it's like I tell people, it's like Michael Jackson as the artist had no respect for these kind of fans that made it all about them. It's all about them and me, and look at my Michael Jackson collection. Look at what I got. Look at me. Pay attention to me, you know? I mean, you know, it's disgusting and shit. It's like, and that's why I see that when I make this stuff, it's like these people that are these me, I'm the Michael Jackson fan people, they can't appreciate what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is I'm doing an investigation. I care about freaking art and understanding of what's going on. And to care about it, you got to be an intellectual, and you've got to have a strong soul to be able to deal with the realities of what they're actually showing you here, what's actually going on, you know?
Yeah.
So, I could show you more on this, but it's like, let me go. I've been doing so much and stuff. I just need to just a little. You got to hear her say the word smile, so you know that she's singing this song, Smile.
Where are the clouds? There ought to be clouds.
Yeah.
Don't bother, I'm here.
Okay, I just had to let you know to make sure you guys understand. Okay, that's the song Smile, okay? And so it's like, these are these things that Michael Jackson would have experienced with Diana Ross and all this stuff. So it's like, so I'm going to show you here now. Okay, this is a Diana Ross special. It was called Diana in 1971. Okay, so this is early in the Jacksons' career. Okay, so here's so on Diana Ross's show, Diana, her special. You know, she has the Jackson 5. Okay, so she has the Jackson 5, but this is also the show that she has this where she pulls Michael, and she's doing special performances just with Michael, with her and Michael. Okay, so she's doing that, and then he comes over and he sits down, and they do this little comedy.
Darling, there you are. Here I am. I got your note. You prepped nicely. I always did.
Okay, so so this is her show, and then so the Jackson 5 perform, but Michael does his own solo performance, and then they do performance together, just her and Michael. And this is what I'm showing you is like the thing with her and Michael, it goes above and beyond. It goes. There's so much going on here, and it's the reality is that she's actually his mother. It's the true story of what's going on. But I want to show you here that in this same special, when you go, let me just get to this part here later. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we get here. Now listen to this, what she says, and then you're going to see what she does. She does a Charlie Chaplin skit. And this is one of those things I'm saying is like the origins of Michael Jackson loving the song Smile and being enamored with Charlie Chaplin. What you're going to see is that all of that really starts, it's with Diana Ross that he's actually enamored with and that he's admiring, and that it was Diana Ross that had these interest in these people. This is where this all developed from.
There's no saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, while a funny picture is worth 1,000 laughs. And the old-time movies prove that. I get a chance to watch some of them sometimes, and I have some favorite stars. Some of them are Chaplin, W.C. Fields, the Marx Brothers. They could make you laugh without even saying a word.
That's Diana Ross. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you, that this is that special, the same special where the Jacksons performed. This is the special that Diana had her personal little thing that she did, her skit with Michael and her, all that stuff. But on that same show, she told you like these old classic films, and some of my favorites are Chaplin, the first person that she mentions, and then she goes and she does this whole Chaplin skit as Charlie Chaplin. Okay? And then like I showed you already that she then sang the song Smile and released it on her album in 1976. And when she does it, she's doing it with the mime there, And then so now I'm going to show you, this is Michael Jackson's artwork. And when you read see the pictures too, I noticed it has to come into focus sometimes too. I'm going to show you. So Michael Jackson, when you read in his book Moonwalk, when he talks about that he was living at Diana Ross's house, and he says Diana Ross would take him out alone over a period of 1.5 years, and he says that she would teach him in the ways of the world and introduced him to artists, and they would buy pencils and paintings and stuff like that, right? And she would teach him about art and stuff like that. That's stuff that Diana Ross, this influence of what I'm saying that Diana Ross had over Michael. And it's one of these things that's when people would say, oh, well, it's just because, it's like, no. Why would Joseph and Catherine allow Diana to single Michael out and take him out almost every day over this long period of time? And it's like there's much more to it. There's more to it because when you actually ask the real questions, would Joseph and Catherine allow Diana to single out Michael away from the other children and take Michael out all alone and start training him in the ways of Luz to be this kind of influence over their child? Would Joseph, who's that strong father figure, would he allowed her to do this? He doesn't have to. They're already signed to Motown. He doesn't allow, like, if they want to say that Diana Ross presented the Jackson 5, if like they're trying to do like the stuff like that, like we're saying how these things developed, right? So it's like, okay, well, let's just say we're going with the original story of how things are, okay? So Diana did him a favor and did that stuff, and then, okay, Diana does a favor and lets him live in the house. But do those things really allow then Diana to pull Michael away and do these other things that she's doing? It's like, it's too much. It's above and beyond. And Joseph, like, dude, he made the band, the Jackson 5. If Michael's his kid, that's his kid. He doesn't need Diana. They made it to Motown on their own. Like, that's the story that we're being told, right? That they went out and they worked hard, and they got to Motown on their own. They did it from their own efforts, right? Okay, so he doesn't have, like, this obligation to Diana Ross, and this is Joe, this is his family, his kid. But for some reason, he allows Diana to do all this stuff with Michael. There's all this other stuff stuff going on. And so, like I said, when you talk about like the drawings and stuff, right? And that stuff that links back to Diana, and I just showed you on that special there in 1971, there's Diana like Charlie Chaplin. And then it's Diana that's singing the song Smile that she released on her album. All of that comes before Michael later releases it way on the History album. He releases Smile and shit, right? So, you know, so when you see him saying all that stuff, it's like, okay, so when he's saying that Smile's his favorite song and how he loves Charlie Chaplin and stuff like that, well, these are direct connections back to Diana Ross and back to the time when he was, when she's telling him that she's his mother, you know? Yeah. Look at how the connections connect right back to Diana Ross directly, because she's doing Charlie Chaplin in 1971 on this special where you know Michael's there for that special, because there they are. And he's there, and he's living in her house. I mean, Jesus Christ, it is crazy. It's insane. You know, and the stuff about, it's like they were telling the people, but nobody really looked, they couldn't get past the fact that Michael was a part of the Jacksons, you know, and they branded that so much with the brand name recognition of the Jackson family, you know, and people couldn't get past that. And that's why that's why Michael died with this fucking secret. He took it to his fucking grave, literally. He literally took this secret to his grave, you know? And here I am, the one, because I'm actually a fan, and it's like one of those things that's like, when I see something new and that's interesting, I go looking for it, and I keep looking, and that's what's happened, is that I've done so much of that's why I can make videos like this and show you all of this stuff. So now I'm going to show you a little bit more here. It's like there was more, there's more Charlie Chaplin. There's a few more pictures here that Michael drew. Michael was, and that's the other thing too, is like, Michael's not just a singer, Michael's an artist. He's an artist on high levels and shit. And let me explain one other thing too, is like, when I talk bad about Michael Jackson, the reason I'm talking bad about him is because I want you to see how much, it's like, you don't know how much I respect him. And when I talk bad about him and the things he did, is what I'm showing you is that this kid, Michael Jackson, he was so like, what he was when as the individual, he's got all the talent. He's a good fucking guy. He's a really good guy. He's got super talent. He's got artistic abilities on all kinds of different levels. Yeah. But then the world that he lived in made him tell all these lies and deceive people in ways and caused him to become a drug addict. Like all of these things. And what I'm trying to show you is that you're talking about Michael Jackson as pure, like when they talk about a gift from God, a true angel. I agree. Michael was born. That is who he was born to be, who he was. And he did a lot of things, and he worked with that and showed you. But then there's this other stuff of the reality of what it takes to live in this world. And what that takes is, this is an evil world, and this evil world consumes you too. And so you've got Michael with the true gifts, the true angel, the person he was being born. But then you see the realities of him dying as a drug addict. It's like, well, the world consumed him up too. And the people want to just look and say, no, he's an angel. And I say, no. Yeah, he was born with all the gifts, like a true fucking gift from God. But the world consumed him too. You're like, the people, they just want to look at things one-sided. And so that's why I show things with Michael. And when I talk bad about him, it's like, well, you guys don't understand. I'm showing the realities of what it is to be alive as a human being. And Michael Jackson's story perfectly illustrates that. But you've got to understand that, yes, he was born with all these abilities. He was a good person. But through the evil world that we had to deal with and all the wickedness that he was around his environment, it caused all of these other things too. And that's like the reality. So it's like, I'm not talking bad about Michael. I'm just showing the realities of this wicked world that we had to live in and what it can do to a person who's got all the gifts and is a true angel from God. But the world, we're actually humans. We're not living as angels. We are actually humans. So I don't give a fuck about what kind of gifts you got from God when you're down here living as a humble human being. You're going to be influenced by this negative, evil world in which we live. And Michael Jackson's life perfectly illustrates that shit. So it's like I'm not talking bad about him when I'm saying all this stuff. I'm just showing you the realities that he absorbed that evil and wickedness part of this world that we lived in too, and because of that he had to lie. He became a drug addict. There's all kinds of things that he did and partaked in this evil world that we live in too. It's like Michael's a perfect example of represent the true reality of what it is to actually be a child of God living in this demonic fucking evil hellhole that we live in. Yeah, Minch, I just want to mention too about Michael being an artist. Okay, so we know Michael can sing, but he's the greatest dancer too. He can dance, okay? But he's also a songwriter, okay? And then not only is he a songwriter, he's actually an artist. He can draw. It's like, God, this dude's got talent, like serious talent. That's what I'm saying about Michael being the artist. He's got talent. This is a real artist. He's smart too. He's fucking smart. Oh man, he had so much and shit, you know? He has so much. So I just want to show you here, there's a few Chaplin pictures, and just showing you, it's like how much he respected Charlie Chaplin. And to show you back with Diana in that special when she's doing Chaplin. That's Charlie Chaplin too, it says. So that's another Chaplin.
Yeah. Was I?
And I think there might be another one. Let me give it a couple seconds here. Oh, there's Diana Ross. So see, that's why too, to show you. So he did Diana Ross too. That's Madonna. That's so funny. There's another Chaplin one. That's what I wanted to show you because there was a bunch of the Chaplins. Chaplin was a bunch, okay? But now I'm just gonna drag forward here because actually there's another Chaplin one it looks like right after this. So let me play it again. Yeah, another Chaplin. Okay, so also I'm showing you is like how big Chaplin was to him. That one's really good, like the pants, the creases and stuff. It's like, boy, there's really intricate details. Like Michael was an artist in many different ways. But see how big this Chaplin is to him? And he says Smile's his favorite song. Then what do you find out? That Diana Ross is actually dressed up like Chaplin, you know, in that special they did in 1971. And then Diana Ross releases the song Smile in 1976, you know. These are serious connections to show with him and Diana Ross. There's so much more there. And then, let me go forward because he's got one here of that Marcel guy. Is that another Chaplin? Yeah, there's another Chaplin.
Is that
hold on, let me find here.
perfect?
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Where is it? I could have sworn it was in this. I could have sworn it was in this group of pictures. The one I was looking for of that. I'm looking for the mime, that Marcel guy.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing with my videos. Sometimes when I do stuff like this, and so now it's like, now I got to drag to find. But I thought it was in the. Somehow I missed it. It's in here, and somehow I missed it. So now I gotta find, which is like, oh man, so I messed it all up. Well, let's just look at these pictures then, and just wait for it to come up. Wait for it to come up. We'll watch it. We'll look at all these pictures. They're cool to look at and stuff. Because I want to see the one with the mime, you know. To show you, because he talks about the mime being his favorite mime, you know, this one guy, this Marcel guy. But it's one of the things with the mimes to show you that there was the mime. Now, the mime that was doing that song with Diana Ross when she's singing Smile, that wasn't the Marcel guy. But to show you that where Michael gets this real respect for mimes and stuff too. It's like that's a thing that Diana Ross, you know, was doing, and you know. Okay, come on, I know. Yeah, so Michael, he had a lot of good pictures and stuff, you know. Like one of these two is I don't know if we'll see it here when we're going through this, but one of them he did because he does an Elvis Presley, but he does one that's a Lisa Marie Presley, and that's one that I wish I would know the actual date of when he did that Lisa Marie one. It's like, did he do that before they got married? You know, I wish I knew the date of when he actually drew the one that's the Lisa Marie's. There's Lisa Marie. You know, it's like okay, well, it's hard to know exactly how old she is there and stuff, you know. But that's one I would like to know. It's like, huh, when did he do that? When did he do the Lisa Marie one? Because she's an adult, you know. But it's like, when did did he do this before they got married or after they're married? I'd like to actually know the date of that. There's that, Marcel Marceau. Okay, yeah, so there's that Marcel Marceau. That's the mime. Okay, I wanted to show you, I just wanted to show you that that guy was really important to Michael because he's in his drawings, you know? And that guy's a mime. And I think most of you people that are the real Michael Jackson fans, you would know who he is and know that Michael calls this guy his favorite mime, okay? And so I just wanted to show you that the connection to the Diana Ross singing the song Smile, and that when she was doing that there was a mime there performing with her. Okay, and so I just wanted to show you those connections to Michael being infatuated also with mimes and stuff, and to showing it how it relates back to Diana Ross and the song Smile and all those connections like that, you know. So okay, that was enough in this video. Yeah, that was enough there for me to show you in this video. I rambled on. These videos, they end up going so long and stuff, right? And it's like I just want to keep talking and show you other things because like as I'm watching it too, there's always so much more stuff, you know? And like just really quick, like the Liza Minnelli, there was a picture there of Liza Minnelli. Like, do you people like know who Liza Minnelli's parents are? Okay, Liza Minnelli's mother is Judy Garland, that played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And then Vincent Minnelli is the famous director, made all these great movies. And Michael Jackson, it's one of those things like Michael Jackson attended Vincent Minnelli's funerals, which was at Forest Lawn in Glendale. That's the place where Michael's buried. Because then there's that video, you can find the footage of Michael attending Vincent Minnelli's funeral, you know. But it's one of those things, because I have Liza Minnelli too saying that, yeah, Michael would come over to our house all the time, and she'd say, yeah, but he liked my dad, because they were good friends, Liza Minnelli, but she talks about how much that Michael loved her dad, which is the Vincent Minnelli, you know. So these people, they're so interesting. There's so many stories, and Michael Jackson had this wild life, you know. And then all the while, he's got this secret that he's the love child of Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. And like I said, he took that to his grave. But when you actually go back and look, and you see all the signs and how things are woven together, it's just incredibly intricate, and it's a beautiful story, and it's a horror story too, you know? And so that's like with Michael's songs, right? They're beautiful songs, but then he liked the horror stuff too, you know, the thriller, he liked the ugly stuff, you know? And it's like how they knit together, like, you know, like on the song Thriller, on the Thriller album, you got the thriller, and then you got the human nature, you know? So it's like you got the beautiful song and you got the horror movie and shit, right? I mean, it's just how it is and stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I see Michael Jackson in a way that I would say nobody else really does, because if you don't know the story like of what I'm doing and all the research of what I'm doing, it's like I see there's just so much stuff here. I'm just consumed with it, and it's just like I just don't understand why I can't get Michael Jackson fans to be interested in Michael Jackson's real life, you know? It's weird. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Talk to you later. Bye.